Greetings, Dungeon Heroes. Today we have a special guide for the game Dungeon Crushers. We will analyze the calls, search for the minimum acceptable deck that still capable of defeating opponents. In this issue we will focus on cards call and defeat the three formidable bosses of this branch: Karamal, Iron Knight, Kozeench, Changer of Ways. I will show you which heroes to choose, analyze the strengths of each boss, and select runes so that our team can achieve victory. So get ready, serious challenges lie ahead and only a skillful selection of cards will lead us to victory. In this video we will use a minimal number of top heroes and runes to build a deck capable of defeating our opponents. After watching, you will have a clear idea of the minimum set of runes and heroes required. The first boss we encounter after activating the summoning card is Karamal the Destroyer. He comes out with two defenders, Gerthroras. The danger here is that Karamal has the ability to devour our heroes, leaving them with no more than 30% health. In addition, he doubles his ATK, restores HP, and inflicts a bleeding effect, which seriously hinders combat. To counteract these characteristics, we can equip a strong hero with the immunity to Devouring rune, which protects against this unpleasant effect. For the attack, I use the 4 million elite hero Digur. He possesses a number of powerful abilities. When receiving normal attacks, he increases the ATK of two random allies by 20%. The effect only applies to humans, and Digur himself belongs to this race, which simplifies the buffing process. When building a deck, I take as many buff heroes as possible. Their placement plays a key role. For example, William Wayne, with his ability to open, increases the ATK and AGI of 3 random allies by 50%, only for humans. Therefore, it is better to place him so that there are no more than 2 people on the field, and then he will be able to cast Didgur's buff. In my attack, almost all buffers have Rage Rune, which helps to disperse Didgur, but against this boss it is not essential. I used the minimum number of attacks to defeat Karamal, and we crushed him decisively. You may think that this victory is insignificant, but I assure you, the first enemy you defeat will be the beginning of your legendary future. After defeating this enemy, you receive guaranteed useful resources, as well as a summoning drawing, which unlocks the ability to summon the Iron Knight. The previous deck through Didgur will be ineffective, as on average it only deals about 1% damage. Therefore, it is best to use the 230 elite against this enemy, as well as the hero Elnet the Ghost. Elnet has a unique active ability. It revives and fully restores the health of 2 allies. This means that it can revive our buff heroes, and they will reactivate their abilities to open, re-empowering the characteristics of our elite. With this deck, we can deal several times more damage. We build it similarly to the previous one, the maximum number of buffers, and if possible, we give them rage runes. This will allow the buffers to attack each other, and Elnet will be able to resurrect them, which will give our team an additional advantage. Congratulations, the second boss in this branch has been defeated. With each new battle, you become stronger and stronger. After defeating this enemy, you receive guaranteed useful resources, as well as the Crow's Tooth summon, which unlocks the ability to summon Kozeentch, Changer of Ways. Here we are at the formidable foe, Kozeench. He possesses enormous health reserves and strong attacking abilities. He deals powerful damage to 5 random opponents with a strength of 80%, lowering their whiz by 55%. But that's not all. Kozeench goes into battle with 4 dangerous assistants. The first is Karamal, familiar to us from past battles, and once again he uses his devouring ability. The second is Agahos. He deals powerful damage to 5 random opponents with a strength of 80% and prevents those attacked from using their abilities. This effect is the main problem in battle. The third is Sergrazoth. He deals devastating damage to 3 random opponents with a power of 135% and reduces their ATK by 75%. Because of him, we lose our momentum, which makes the battle even more difficult. The fourth defender deals heavy damage to 3 random opponents. Knowing all these advantages, it becomes clear that without special preparation, we cannot defeat this enemy. Therefore, I have compiled a relatively minimal deck of heroes and runes with which you can defeat this opponent. The basis is the 230 Elite Foim, which is extremely rare in the galaxy and has 5 virtues, but it is not necessary to use that many virtues. You can also take the 4 million strong Elite Didgur, as well as our assistant Elnet, and the hero buffers with rage runes. However, the most difficult part of this battle is that without one of the rare runes, it is almost impossible to cope on your own. So let's imagine that you're lucky and have one of the runes in your arsenal, Stealth or Defender. Now let's build a deck with the Defender rune. Let's start with our main attacking unit, Foime. She needs to be given runes that will add additional characteristics at the start of the battle. Namely, the Demon Hunter runes, and ally runes that increase ATK, Whiz, AGI, and DEF by 20%, if there is at least one of the specified races among the allies. I use the Demon Hunter runes at 17.5% or 25%, as well as the runes of allies for undead and humans. Let's take a moment to clarify how these runes work. In order for them to take effect, when a hero with these runes enters the field, there must be at least one enemy of the demon race. In the case of Hunter runes, ally runes are activated if there are allies of the corresponding races on the field. Now it's time to prepare Didgur. He needs to put on that very rune Defender. Thanks to her, he will take on all of his opponent's attacks. And as we remember, when receiving normal attacks, Didgur increases the attack stats of 2 people in our deck by 20%. In this way, he strengthens his own characteristics, and those of our main damage dealer, Foima. The next rune we place is immunity from devouring, because Karamal will try to devour Didgur. If this protection is not used, we choose the 3rd and 4th runes to improve characteristics. For example, the runes Hunters or Allies are available for your selection. This way we maximize Didgur's power and make him a reliable shield for the entire deck. Now it's time to prepare the next character, Elgnith. He will become an important part of this team, as his ability will allow him to resurrect buff heroes. It is also necessary to place the Rune of Fury on him, so that he can attack Didgur again. This will cause Didgur to activate his ability, a reaction to the buff, strengthening the team even more. Now is the time to prepare the buffer heroes. We will use those who are not of the human race, so that Didgur buff concentrates on Foima. In my attack, I used Raka and Billy. You can also take Bobby with built-in rage. He is a great analog if you cannot put the hero in the red frame. In addition, I used Izoda. Her skill increases ATK, Whiz, and DF by 65% for 3 random human allies. Yes, you could say that she is human and capable of taking buffs upon herself. This is partly true, but thanks to her ability we can overlook this point, and I will add for the future this character in the red frame. Will become very valuable to you in the near future. I use this deck for attacking. In the front row, we place 3 standard defenders and 1 weakest hero so that they are guaranteed to die and not interfere with the second row. Billy and Raka are also in the front row. If they don't survive the first round, Foime, Didgur, Elgnith, and Isolde will come out in the second. In subsequent rounds, Elgnith will be able to resurrect Billy and Raka, bringing them back into battle. The tactic is simple: attack on x3 and wait for a successful attack. It took me about 10 minutes to defeat Kozeench with this build. Now let's consider a deck option. If you have the Stealth rune, yes, such a deck will perform less effectively, but it will still provide an opportunity to defeat Kozeentch. The first thing that might come to mind is to put Stealth on Elgnith. However, based on tests, the average damage of such a deck is too low, and there are better options. The second idea is to give Isolde Stealth, but even here, the damage remains insufficient. And that leaves the third option, putting Stealth on Foime, so that Didgur remains our main defender. This deck has proven itself to be better, with higher average damage compared to the other options. We don't change anything much in terms of runes, doing roughly the same as in the defender tactic, but slightly adjusting the positioning. The only change is that we put Foime with Stealth and Didgur in the front row, and fill all the other slots with buff heroes. The battle lasted about half an hour, but the result was worth it. You may think that you will spend a lot of money and time, but the reward for winning it is well worth the effort. You will receive valuable resources such as magic bottles, star elixir, and parts of the defeated demon, larvae, heart, bones, as well as the demon's horn, which will come in handy in the near future. But apart from the rewards with the call, you receive additional siege points. This greatly simplifies the process of recruiting them and speeds up the collection of siege bosses. And that's not all. The continuation of this appeal is Peach Seed, which we will definitely discuss in the next videos. That's all, friends. If you liked the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. This gives me tremendous motivation to create new videos. And in the comments, write what challenges you want to see next. See you in new battles.